Who are we? We are the original Jews. We walked out of the wilderness with Moses. That is us. All right? Start with Colossians 3 and 17.
The book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of the idol one, Mashiach Yahushua, giving thanks to Yahweh and the Abba by him.
All right, sister, you know what that means, sis, on the sideline? Everything we do, we give honor to the Most High, all right? Start with Deuteronomy 67. No, 76. We have to tell our people that, hey, listen, we're special people right now. We don't realize that, all right? We're going through these curses for a reason, all right? Brother, you know who you are according to the Bible. You do? All right, I'm going to give you a scripture, and then I'm gonna ask you some questions, okay? Come on, read.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. Read. For thou art an holy people.
You know that we're a holy people, right? You know what holy means according to the Bible, right?
That's right.
You know what it means? Holy means separate. Yeah. All right? He separated us from a certain people. All right? A certain people that we shouldn't be seen with or standing with, all right? He made us special, all right? Read.
That's right.
Unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people.
Read.
Unto himself, above all people.
That means that we belong to him above all nations.
That's right.
We're not equal to any nation. All right? If you're on this chart, you're above all other nations, all these other heathen nations. All right?
Yahuda.
Come again?
Yahuda.
So where's your father from?
African American. That's Judah.
African American. So you know the scriptures. All right?
Black. I'm supposed to meet one of these brothers. Give me the brother name. I got it in my phone.
Don't worry. Okay. All right.
I'm gonna meet your brother over. I go to Glaze.
Okay. So you know the scriptures a little bit. Oh, All right. Go to 14. No, go to 6 and 7. I want to go to 6 and 7. Deuteronomy 6 and 7.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6 and verse 7.
Read.
And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children.
The Most High gave us laws and statutes and commandments, right? And he said that we're supposed to teach these to our children, all right? Diligently, all right? Read.
And shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house.
So when we're sitting at home at the table, we're supposed to be going through these laws and through these scriptures, all right? Read.
And when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down.
And when we go to sleep, these scriptures are supposed to be on our mind, right? Read.
And when thou risest up.
And when we rise up, read.
And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand.
We're supposed to read.
And they shall be as frontlets between thine eyes.
That's supposed to guide us wherever we go, right? Go to 14 and 2. All right.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14 and verse 2.
Read.
For thou art an holy people unto the Most High thy power.
Once again, he's telling us, right, we're holy people again, right? Read.
And the Most High hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people.
We're peculiar people. All right? Read.
Unto himself.
Unto himself. All right? Read.
Above all the nations.
Here it is again. Above all the nations.
That are upon the face of the earth.
You know what that means, right? Nobody's equal to us, man. We've been through, what? We're coming up to 400 years of them oppressing us, right?
Yeah.
And we're still above them. They can't stop us.
No.
You know what I mean? They try to kill us, right? What happened? We multiply so much that now they got these Planned Parenthoods, right? Trying to kill us, right? You can't stop God's people, man. You can't stop. Only thing that can stop us is the Most High Himself. Other than that, these other nations, they can't stand next to us, all right? Read.
Okay. These are
Go to 7 and 25. Because we're supposed to be righteous right now, right? And I'm gonna give you the definition of what righteousness means. Because a lot of us, we go to church and they tell us our own definition of what righteousness is. But according to the Bible, all right, it tells us what righteousness really is, all right?
That's right.
All right, read.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6 and verse 25.
Read.
And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments.
If we do all His commandments, right? All 613 of His commandments, right? Not just 10.
That's right.
The church only teaches 10, right? And they still say they can't do those 10.
Yeah.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Read. Read.
Before the Most High our power,
Read.
as He hath commanded us.
Read. That's it. All right, He commanded us to do these, right? Go to Proverbs 8:36. Proverbs 8, 22. It's our righteousness, right? That we have to follow these laws and these statutes and commandments. That's why we're in the conditions that we're in. We're not supposed to be sitting at these bus stops. And I'm not down in anybody that's sitting at these bus stops. But because of what we did, we're on the bottom. We should be living in these buildings over here. We should be owning these buildings over here.
That's right.
You know what I mean? But instead, what we're doing, you know, today is the Lord's Shabbat, right? This is Holy Shabbat. This is why we're in the conditions that we're in, because we're supposed to be glorying the Most High on His Shabbat right now. But instead, what we're doing, we're here what? Buying, selling, doing everything else that we're not supposed to be doing right now, right? And this is why we're in the situations that we're in. But if we were to live righteously according to the Most High, you know, he would remove us from this situation, right? Read.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 22.
Read.
The Most High possessed me in the beginning of His way. 8:21. That I may cause those that love me.
Go to 8:36.
Hey, sitting with the bill right there, got the dress on today.
Read.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 36.
Read.
But he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul.
Now what we did, right? What is sin according to the Bible, brother? According to the Bible, what is sin?
Transgression of the law.
All right, you know the law. I feel like
I'm with you, friend.
read. All right, so you know transgression of the law, right? And because we transgress His law, right? What happens? We die. All right, because we go against His laws. Whether it be His dietary laws, the main thing that's killing us now, other than black on black violence, is the dietary law.
Yeah.
We don't obey His dietary law. We eat everything under the sun, and say if we pray over it, and He's gonna forgive us, right? It's foolishness. That's what the church is telling these people.
You know what they're getting confused with? That book in Acts, Peter went over there to you know, he went to Cornelius, Peter, in the book of
Okay,
Acts.
so you're in Acts. All right, all right.
And the sheep came down.
He had the vision. I know where you're going. Acts, I believe that's Acts 10, right? Yeah. He used that, but that's what they use. And they also use what? Timothy 4:3. They use a lot of these scriptures to justify the wickedness. You know what I mean? It's more to read.
Destroyed, man.
All they that hate me love death.
All they that hate Him, what? Love death, right?
That's right.
That's what He said, right? So if you go against His commandments, automatically you're going to be put to death, because the scriptures say wages of sin is what? Death, right?
Yes.
All right. But what happens if we were to obey His commandments? What would He do to us? What would happen? We wouldn't be here at these bus stops right now.
Maybe on top.
Nah, we wouldn't be right now, right? We wouldn't be. Go to Baruch for me.
Oh, no.
Come. Because if we go against His commandments, that's death. But how do we get life? How do we obtain life? By obeying His laws, right? Okay, I'm going to get you that in the scripture. Baruch 4:1.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1.
Read.
This is the book of the commandments of the Most High, and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life.
It says that all of us that keep it, we should what? It should what? Just say it again.
Shall come to life.
Shall come to life. That's the opposite of us going against His commandments, right? Because He said we're going to die if we disobey His commandments, right? But He's saying if we obey His commandments, this is life.
Yes.
Read.
But such as leave it shall die.
There we go. Such as leave it shall die, which is what the last scripture said, right? So we have to realize that the Most High has us we're in this situation for a reason, all right? There's no other reason other than us going against His commandments, right? And I'm going to go back to Deuteronomy 28, and I'm going to show you some of these curses that we're under right now because we refuse to keep His commandments, all right? Give me 28, start at 15.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15.
Read.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Most High thy power.
Now this is what He told us. He said if we did not hearken unto the Most High, His power, right?
That's right.
This is what He said is going to happen. Read.
To observe to do all His commandments.
All of His commandments, not just some, but all of them, right? Read.
And His statutes.
And His statutes.
Which I command thee this day.
Read.
That all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Now, what are some of the curses that you see us going through right now? As a people. I'm talking about as a people that's on. I'm not talking about any other, all these heat. I'm talking about as a people. Because we tend to try to bring other nations into this. But I'm saying as a people, what do you see us going through right now? Other than us killing each other. Brother, you know the scriptures, right? Khan. I'm going to get that one. Go to 50. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Go to 54.
This book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 54.
Read.
So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother.
Last night we were going to speak somewhere else, right? And we were riding through this one neighborhood. And we must have heard like, what would you say, like 20-something gunshots. They were letting off shots. And what we saw, only thing we saw running through those parking lots were our children. We saw at least 50 to 60 of our young children running through these parking lots, running from gunfire. You know why? Because that's the kind of hatred that we have for our own people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Read.
And toward the wife of his bosom.
Toward the wife of our bosom, we always leave our women. You know what I mean? A righteous man won't, but we leave our women, right? Read.
And toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
And you know what they say, right? You never have a father in the house, right? The father always leaves us, right? That's one of the biggest curses. And because and because of that, our sons end up what? Growing up what? Effeminate, really, emotional, really emotional.
I saw the video.
Real emotional, you know what I mean? Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, that video is something, yeah. They're real emotional, you know what I mean? And you know why? Because they don't have a man in the household. You know what I mean? If we had a man in the household to teach our children, like it says in 6 and 7, we're supposed to teach these laws to our children. But because we're not, what we get? We're getting homosexuals now. We're getting gang members now. You know what I mean? They're killing each other. You know, and these other nations are sitting back laughing at it while it's happening.
Yeah, they are.
You know, they laugh at our destruction.
If you go to the news app, I go to channel 10. I get the news. If you read like things that happen in our community, read the comments. They talk bad about Israel.
They mock us. They you know why? They listen.
Oh my goodness.
That's that hatred. Ezekiel 35 and 5. That's that hatred. To see another nation and you laugh and you celebrate about it, you know, that's in their nature. They have that in their nature. They have a perpetual hatred for us. You know what I mean? Read. Ezekiel 35 and 5.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse 5.
Read.
Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel.
You see what they do? Not only they got this hatred, but they're constantly, just now, what happened? We had a couple mass shootings, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't a terrorist that did it from another nation.
Oh no.
You know who did it, right? Their own people are doing it. Their own people doing it. You know what I mean? But yet they still keep the focus on what we do.
Yeah. You know what's funny? They rarely say anything about them on the
They're not. You know what they say? This is what they say. They say the white boy, he had a mental problem.
Yeah. He had a mental
Yeah, but when it comes to us with thugs and with savages, right? That's how they look at us. That's that perpetual hatred.
You're not with him,
Nah. That's that perpetual hatred that they have. And because of that, we don't know who we are because really we don't teach our children who we are as our heritage. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So we grow up thinking we're just niggas. You know what I mean? And Jamaicans or whatever other proverb that they give us.
Even though that word in the book now, Acts 13 and 1, Niger.
The Niger.
The root word.
Actually, you know that word, if you look that word up on the blue letter Bible, right? And you know how they got, if you push that button, that white man said, he don't say Niger, he says nigger.
Yeah.
He don't say Niger.
Wikipedia
He says nigger. So when you hear that word, they call us that back in the day. As a matter of fact, we don't get that because we got other ears that want to hear it. Go to Acts 13 and 1. Come. Yeah, they call us this is a word. They didn't invent this word. They call us this back in the days, back in the biblical days. Yeah, because they cracked that whip. Because they constantly crack that whip. Read.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 13 and verse 1.
Read.
Now there were in the church that was in Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon.
Now there were certain prophets and teachers, right? Read.
That was called Niger.
Now what they call them?
Nigger.
Yeah, I like that. Say it again. Say it how it really sounds.
That was called nigger.
Now they call us that what? They call it called Niger. Car. The water. I mean, so it's like out. That's what they call us then. You know what I mean? But today they added the other G to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's a word that that word has no power over us, man. It should have no power over us because we know who we are truly as a people. You know what I mean? Until we come back to our heritage, you know what I mean? We'll never wake up out of this situation. You know what I mean? Jeremiah 14. Until we come back to our heritage, man, we don't know the Northern Kingdom. They walk past us every day. We Issachar, they don't know they're our people. You know why? Because they were told they were separate from us.
I want to touch on that.
Go ahead.
You know, the 12 tribe chart. That was in my spirit early to kind of touch on. When I look at, you know, the slave pictures, I don't really see those people, you know, like the features. I mean, it's not.
So you saying we go by features, right?
No, we don't go by features. But what I'm saying,
okay.
like, I don't see Negro in them, like, physically. They look Spanish, you know, or, you know.
Well, you got a lot of Negroes that look Negro, but they're not Israel. We can't go off of their physical appearance.
That's precept.
You know, because you got to think we were scattered throughout the nations. So to say that you think that the slaves, that the Negro slaves, they were just sitting there while the Spaniards just raped our women, and no one was. That's all that was going on.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when you look at the slaves, like, you look at all the old slave photos of the slaves coming out of West Africa. Point of no return. They look black. Like, I mean, he did get raped. He got, taken advantage of through this captivity. You know, through them coming in, you know, and bringing us in via ships, like precepts say, Deuteronomy 28:68. But when I look at those pictures and I look at those people,
so in other words, your argument is that you don't see the spirit in these people.
Physically and spiritually too. It's physical and spiritual.
I mean, but you just look. I mean,
they feel like they hate us, man. Like,
yeah, we hate ourselves. We hate ourselves, so we can't say because they hate us that they're not our people. We hate ourselves. We kill ourselves. Brothers that look like you and I. We shoot ourselves every day, huh? So to go by that, I mean, to say that
the tribe it got destroyed, that 12 tribe chart, like with all these other nations, like a brother destroyed it. So I got the brother on my phone. I can't think of the brother's name, but I got it on my phone. He broke it down. Like, everybody's Negro descent, man. Like, these other
that's a discussion that if you come out of school on Thursday, 2937 West Broad Boulevard, and the home of the truth. You hear that, right? And
it starts, though.
It starts on Thursday, 8 o'clock, I believe, right? 8 o'clock. That's where we have those discussions at. You know what I mean? That's where we have that discussion.
Where you located?
2937 West Broad Boulevard.
Oh, I had to catch the bus, and I got to be down here at a certain time to work. That stage by 10.
Okay. Do you know any of our elders here, or?
I know my aunt Avina.
Okay, so if you get their number, they'll break that down for you. All right.
Brother broke it down smooth, man. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's you know what? That's just another ploy to keep us from the kingdom, to keep us from gathering. That's another ploy from, you know, it's like Zephaniah 2:1. We can't do that if we don't trust each other. If we're sitting there, I don't know, that brother don't look like he's part of the 12 tribes. You know, he don't look Negro descent. If that's what we're going by, the scriptures say that what? Israel, we're like a speckled bird, man. We come in different colors. So if we're just going by what Issachar looks like, then
it's not even
we have to go by the spirit, because at the end of the day, if you read what 49, Genesis 49, it tells you the spirit of Issachar. I don't see anybody else with that spirit. They work for everybody, man. They work hard for everybody.
What nationality is
Issachar. Issachar, that would be considered the so-called Mexicans.
Right.
All right. They're Issachar, and those brothers work hard, man. They go through the same curses that we went through. Matter of fact, they were slaves before us. Look, give me that.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, and verse 19. Say unto them, thus saith the Most High Power, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, and will put them with them, even with the stick of Judah.
Now you understand who Joseph is, right? Who he's the progenitor of, right?
It's about not Mary.
Ephraim and Manasseh. Joseph.
It's about Joseph.
Joseph, yeah. Okay. All right. His inheritance was given to his, I believe, his two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh.
Okay.
Ephraim is the so-called Puerto Rican.
Right.
All right. Manasseh, that would be, I guess, the so-called Cuban.
Afro-Cubano.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So.
What about the ones with blonde hair and blue eyes? Because I see brothers got them on the chart. The green eyes, the blue eyes, and the blonde hair, and I'm like,
See, but we mix with those people. You know what I mean? We just go on by looks, because I have relatives that look the same. I have relatives that look, they're white as I don't know what. But we go by this, what? We go by the father, right? The seed of the father, right?
You know, right, but you know the Afro-Cubanos, like for example, we talking about Manasseh, right?
All right, yeah, come on.
They were dispersed over there, they so-called Cuban too. So, as a division of Cubans, like you got the blacks, who get treated like crap over there.
Okay.
Then you got the Spaniards, who you call Cubans, who we identify, especially in Miami.
But what I'm saying is, have you ever? It's a gray area, but that's nothing that we should be debating about and wasting our time about. Because at the end of the day, we got souls that we have to save, and we're not going to save these souls by saying, you know, by arguing about this chart.
Because I got experience when I was a youngster.
No, cut. You know what I mean?
When I was a youngster, I went with my mother. I got a bad experience when I went to my mother. I was young, maybe about 8, 9 years old. We were downtown Miami. We went to the Walgreens to be on Flagler. And as we were going through the entrance, some Cubans, Spaniards, they were coming out, 2 young ladies. And I kind of, you know, touched them. They looked at me like I was a disease. Like I was sick, like a disease. My mother
but you know what? We do our own people like that.
My father had to come and, you know, keep us sedated. She was about to kill these girls. So it's like I said, it's a spiritual thing. Like I don't feel like I know the Afro-Cubanos, I'm with that. That's Manasseh, for what I believe. But I don't believe the ones with the blonde hair that look like Esau.
I mean, we have to go by the spirit, because you know we all don't walk around with a DNA kit in our pocket or nothing like that. We have to go off the spirit. You know what I mean?
Feel their spirit.
You know, and if you don't feel their spirit, most likely they're not Israel. You know what I mean?
But the Afro-Cubanos,
yeah, brother. I see where you're going with that understanding. But there's a prophecy in the Bible of being confused when we see our own people. Give me Hosea 8:8. The Most High already prophesied that what we see, we're not going to be able to just look upon someone and know whether they're Hebrew Israelite or not, right? Now we got to try the spirit by the spirit. The scriptures tell us that we not walk by sight. Let's see what the scriptures say. Give me Hosea 8:8.
The book of Hosea, chapter 8 and verse 8.
Read.
Israel is swallowed up.
Israel is what?
Swallowed up.
It said Israel is swallowed up. Read on.
Now shall they be among the Gentiles.
Now they're going to be amongst who?
The Gentiles.
The other nations, right? We're swallowed up amongst the other nations. Read on.
As a vessel wherein is no pleasure.
As a vessel where there's no pleasure. Where you going to see Israel at? On the bottom. Where you going to see them at? Getting locked up in them cages, the so-called immigration or so-called ICE, with all that border patrol, right, for America, talking about they dealing with immigration, but they only locking up the Hebrew Israelites.
That's right.
They're not locking up nobody else. You don't see, did you watch on the news? Did you see what's going on with all those cages of the people locked up on the border? Who you see? You see our Haitian people? You see a Jamaican people?
But let's go back a little further. Let's go back maybe what? 40 years maybe.
Let's do it right now for a moment. We're going to go back, but we're going to do it right now. Right? You see Puerto Ricans, you see Cubans, right? Guatemalans, Chileans, Mexicans mostly, right? Because that's who Esau is against, right?
But we intermingle in those nations.
Listen, read. Check this out. That's what I'm saying, but listen, check this out.
For they are going up to Assyria, a wild donkey alone by himself.
Come on.
Ephraim hath hired lovers.
What did Ephraim do?
Ephraim hath hired lovers.
The Bible says Ephraim has hired lovers, meaning that biblical time, we've been mixing with nations for a long time. This ain't something that just happened in America, right? So that's where the confusion comes into play, because we think we all came off the slave ship dark skin, right? That's not true, right? We had all shades of brown coming off the slave ship. They knew who they was enslaving. The children of Israel. So we had different textures of hair, right? When you hear about our history, some of them had even names, different European names, right? That were logged in the logbooks on the slave ship. So Esau knew who he was. Most of the, do you know just as much slave ships that came from Africa came from Portugal? Right? See, there's a lot of history there that we need to know, so that when the brothers that made up this, where the chart at? With the 12 tribes charter. That is true. Right? The brothers that made this charter, right, they went into all that history. They know that before they made this chart. Right? We digged in the books. We didn't just make the chart off of just what prophecies we saw just in scripture. We also used history, right? Archaeology, right? To put it together to see where was Israel. Right? Give me Ezekiel 37 verse 15. Ezekiel 37 15. Now, and we're going to show you now prophetically what actually took place. Why was the tribes split into two? What was so different? Why did it split the way it split? Why was it two, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi in the south, right? And Ephraim, Manasseh, Naphtali, Asher, Issachar, all of them was in the north. What was the differentiation between the two? Let's read that.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37 and verse 15.
Read.
The word of the Most High came again unto me, saying, moreover, thou son of man,
Right?
take thee one stick,
Right?
and write upon it for Judah,
Right?
and for the children of Israel, his companions.
Now Judah and the children of Israel, his companions. Judah's companions, when we split into two nations, was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. That was the southern kingdom, right? Under King Jeroboam, right? Read on.
Then take another stick, and write upon it for Joseph, and the stick of Ephraim.
Right, now you had Joseph, the northern tribes, and his companions. The rest of the tribes went with them. Read.
And for all the house of Israel, his companions.
Come on.
And join them one to another into one stick.
And Mosai said we're going to be joined back together to one nation again. Right? Read on.
And they shall become one in thine hand.
And they shall become one in the hand of the Most High. Read on.
And when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these?
What does this mean? Read on.
Say unto them, thus saith the Most High Power.
Come on.
Behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim,
Right.
and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, and will put them with him.
Right, come on.
Even the stick of Judah.
Read.
And make them one stick.
And make them what?
Make them one stick.
I mean, we've been separated for a long time. That's why here, especially here in Miami, there's a big separation between the Hispanics and the Negroes, right? There's a big spirit of separation. There's enmity between the Spanish and the Negroes. Why is that? Because it's it's prophetic that we will be separated until Christ brings us back together, right? Read on.
And they shall be in mine hand. And the sticks whereon thou writest shall be in thine hand before their eyes.
Right.
And say unto them, thus saith the Most High Power.
Come on.
Behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whether they be gone.
Right. So when it's time to bring us from among the heathen, that's when we're going to become one. So right now, we're starting to become one. So that's why this chart is prophetic, because we're starting to become one.
I get
Never
that.
was one before.
I get that.
Uh-huh.
What about, okay, what's the word I want to say, the contrast. Let's say, for example, the Cubans. You got, that's supposed to be part of the tribe, right? Manasseh.
Right, come on.
You got the ones that, to me, I mean, they look like Esau, European. And then you got...
You keep saying they look. Give me Daniels.
Well,
Give me Daniels.
What about the Afro-Cubanos? Like,
yeah, give me Daniels.
Were brought over there for sure on the ships. Afro-Cubanos. I'm just, for example,
okay.
contrast differentiate.
We're not talking about who was brought over there. The tribes that was brought over to the land of Cuba, right, are descendants of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Right? Judah, Benjamin, or Levi, right? That was brought to Cuba. We're talking about those that were in Cuba. You see, we're talking about two different people. The people, the native people that were in Cuba already were the children of Israel. That's what I'm bringing up, right? We came over here already. We're going to prove all things. Read that. Fusion of faces.